When it comes to the vastness of the multiverse and the amount and different types of stories that they could have told with regards to this show, Marvel really dropped the ball with season 3 of What If, especially considering this is the final season. And it has me pondering the question, what if they actually made a good show? And welcome to my Safe Gayven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for clicking on another video and joining me here on the BlackGayComicGeek channel. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2025. If this is your first time checking out one of my videos and checking out my channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the BlackGayComicGeek. And I always say the things that I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the four. So I mostly like to talk about fantasy, sci-fi, horror, action, superheroes, and of course, black representation and queer representation, or these movies told through a black queer lens. So if that's something that you are interested in, if you think representation matters and you think through representation it equals normalization, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, help me grow this channel. I am this close to hitting 10,000 subscribers here on the channel, hitting a milestone here on the channel. So help me get to that point. And you can help me get to that point by not only subscribing, but if you're already subscribed, please hit that like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm, getting this video out there, getting my channel out there so more eyes could come to the channel. I did take a little break during the holidays, you know, with Christmas and New Year's and all of that stuff looming. So this is my first video back after taking almost like 2 weeks or so off. So hey, welcome back me. And so yeah, guys, let's get into it. So during the holidays, Marvel aired their final season 3 of What If. And so, yeah, I did review seasons 2 and 1. So let's get into it. This is going to be a full spoiler review, by the way. So no, I just double checked. I reviewed season 1, but for some reason I didn't review season 2. I don't know why. But anyway, here we go. Season 3, spoilers. But yeah, so the show What If, quick synopsis, just like the comic series that it is based off of, this takes moments within Marvel, specifically the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and ponders the question, what if certain scenarios happen throughout the multiverse? And so this first episode was like, what if the Avengers had mech suits? Basically like the Voltron and Power Rangers for the Avengers. Now they're fighting giant mutated versions of the Hulk. And overall, like, I thought the episode was okay. And I think the biggest issue with this particular episode in general is that we didn't really get, like, yeah, we got a building of the characters of Sam Wilson and Bruce Banner, but like, I feel like we didn't get enough of Sam Wilson. And I'm gonna get to this later because that's my biggest issue with What If, in the sense of building up Captain Carter over Sam Wilson, and I'll explain that why, or I'll explain why a little bit later. But like, this episode had Shang-Chi, this episode had Monica Rambeau, Moon Knight, I think Red Guardian was in this episode, and Nakia was in this episode, but like, for the most part, those characters were just there. We didn't really get any of their dynamics together as a team. It mostly just focused on Bruce Banner a lot. And granted, we do want to see more of the Hulk, but I want to see more of these other characters that we haven't really seen. Like, when's the last time we saw Moon Knight? Who knows when we're getting another Shang-Chi episode? We're just getting Sam Wilson, Captain America, back again with Captain America Brave New World after Falcon and Winter Soldier ended, 2, 3, 4 years ago? And then even with it, or even with the Avengers having the mech suits, I feel like they also didn't build up the excitement of like having a giant mech like fight. Like, think about something like a Pacific Rim. Even during the transformation sequence, they kept cutting back to moments of them talking, but I feel like they should have did it in a much better way, in terms of like, we should have fully got to see like a full transformation sequence with regards to the mech suit becoming giant like Volt. Like, that should have felt exciting to me, and it kind of didn't. It felt flat. And in some ways, that's kind of how I felt about this entire season. Like, for the most part, like, overall, I was like, these episodes are somewhat interesting, but at the end of the day, I don't really care that much. Like, even when you think about the next episode, Agatha Harkness goes to Hollywood. Yes, I was interested in the idea of Agatha Harkness getting the power of a Celestial. We got to see more from Kingo. It seems like they're showing more love for the Eternals in What If than they're doing in live action, because it doesn't seem like we're getting any more live action Eternals. But considering like the huge ramifications the Eternals movie left, like we should get more Eternal. Like, yeah, there were people that didn't like that first movie. Honestly, I don't understand the hatred for the first movie. I really enjoyed the first Eternals movie. And then I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, this movie is not as bad as people make it out to see. Like, yes, it was slow in the beginning, but the movie in and of itself is pretty good. But the concept and execution of Agatha going to Hollywood, it was just like, who cares? I think my favorite episodes of this season was episode 3, where Bucky and Red Guardian are interacting with each other. I enjoyed that episode, and that episode was out of the first 2 episodes. I think that episode was like purely character driven, and we're getting to learn a lot more about Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, and seeing that even though he worked for Russia and he kind of like was their spy with regards to Hydra, he still wasn't really a bad guy. He was still overall a good guy, like even in the fact that he didn't want Bucky to shoot anybody. Part of me was also like, why? I thought he's supposed to be a villain, but no, technically he's not a villain. And that's probably why Hydra didn't use him that much. But I liked seeing that because of his charisma and because of who he was as a person, and because by default he is a hero, even he was able to get Bucky out of his brainwashing to a certain extent, because that's how pure-hearted of a person he is. Like a Captain America figure. The episode was fun overall. Now we get to the controversial episode, episode 4. What if Darcy and Howard the Duck met? I know a lot of people hated this episode. I didn't hate this episode, but my issue with this episode, especially with this being the last season, and just my issue with this show in general, is I wish, because this was the last season, that we got, I don't know, I don't want to say more interesting concepts, because that's subjective, but like, I don't know, because the thing I liked about this episode, and unlike other people, is I did enjoy that this episode was by far the wackiest. What if Darcy and Howard the Duck had a child? First, I was like, where did that egg even come from? Did that come out of Darcy? How did she did that come from Howard the Duck? Like, where did that egg come from? Who laid that egg? And being that it is canon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that basically tells me if Darcy from WandaVision met Howard the Duck, because we know Howard the Duck exists in Guardians of the Galaxy, they would have got together and hooked up. Like, oh, is it really bestiality? Because he's still humanoid. Like, it was weird, and that's why overall I did enjoy the episode, because of how wacky and weird it was. And the fact that them two getting together ended up giving birth to an all-powerful cosmic entity who we are eventually going to find out in later episodes is named Birdie. And actually, now that I think about it, now that I'm talking it through, I think my biggest issue overall is in the fact that, especially considering, because I'm thinking about some of my favorite episodes this season, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we got a little bit more character development and build up for characters that are now new to the MCU that we haven't really gotten a lot from. Like, I think about the Shang-Chi episode. I really enjoyed that episode, or the Riri Williams episode, as opposed to like, or even like the Red Guardian episode, because we're getting more from Red Guardian. And I kind of like the Agatha episode too, but like getting to see these characters that we haven't really seen since years ago. Again, when was the last time we saw Shang-Chi? Riri Williams with, Wakanda Forever, but I know her show is coming out this year, but like, again, we haven't really seen much of her. And then also going back to the Captain Carter aspect of it, and I get like, I guess overall, they wanted to use this show as a vehicle to push the Captain Carter concept. And I don't necessarily have a problem with Captain Carter per se, but I think my biggest issue is them pushing and them pushing the idea of Captain Carter came at the same time on the heels of them creating Sam Wilson as the new Captain America, as the new kind of face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And again, the last time we've seen more of Captain Carter than we've seen of Sam Wilson. especially on the heels of the fact that people are already upset and having racist backlash in the fact that Sam Wilson is Captain America, the fact that we have a black Captain America, even though it's comic book accurate, but most people don't read comics. And then even when they do read comics, even when you do get something that's comic book accurate, they still complain, because I remember seeing people complaining about Wiccan being gay and Agatha all along, pushing an agenda. It's like the character's always been gay. He was created as a gay superhero. We even seen Captain Carter in Multiverse of Madness. Like, we're getting so much of Captain Carter. Like, again, we got more of Captain Carter than we have Sam Wilson as Captain America. And that's the thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way about this push of Captain Carter. And when you add the fact that she also has a super soldier serum, so she's technically more of a superhero than Sam Wilson. And I get the point of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was him not taking the super soldier serum, but from an outside world perspective, I wish he was a super soldier, because here you have this black man that basically is a regular human, especially considering there aren't a lot of powered black people in Marvel Cinematic Universe for the most part. And speaking of powered individuals in Marvel, like, the main thing I was excited for with regards to this show that I was kind of let down and disappointed by was the fact that we were getting Storm in this show. That's the main reason I wanted to watch season 3, because honestly, for the most part, going into it, I was just like, I don't really care about season 3. I'm just let me get to the Storm episode. And voiced by Allison Seeley Smith, who was the voice of Storm in X-Men 97 and in the original 90s X-Men cartoon. She doesn't disappoint, but I was disappointed by the episode in general, because out of all the characters in that episode, we got Kahori, Captain Carter, Birdie, I think I'm missing somebody, and Storm. She was the only character that didn't get any type of backstory. She was just there. I thought it was going to be a Storm-centric episode, but it really wasn't. It was mostly a Captain Carter-centric episode. And of course, the Watcher, which, you know, he's throughout all of it, but like, it didn't really focus. Storm was there to give advice and monologue, more or less. And yes, obviously, if you know Storm from the comics, you know Storm from X-Men, the animated series, like, you know Storm's backstory, and you know that at a certain point, she does wield Mjolnir. She has her own hammer. I think it's called Stormcaster as well, like Thor's hammer, his new hammer. I think hers is also called Stormcast. Oh no, Thor is Stormbreaker. I think hers is Stormcaster. But in this, she has Mjolnir. So yeah, Storm is worthy of wielding Mjolnir. Like, if you know the comics, you know that. But like, I still would have liked to seen in the context of what if. I wish we got her backstory and who she is and everything like that. Especially considering this is another rare instance where we're getting mutants in the MCU, like with Deadpool and Wolverine. They hinted that Kamala Khan is a mutant, etc., etc. So I just wish we got basically more Storm. And I was disappointed that we didn't, especially because, like, she's already an Omega level mutant and she's boosted with the power of Thor and Mjolnir. And then she gets boosted again, getting the powers of the Watcher. So she's like beyond Omega level mutant. So like, I feel like she should have like took over that final fight, but they had to give it to Captain Carter, because that's essentially what this anthology series is kind of about, more or less. She is the main character. And I feel like my thoughts are like all scatterbrained right now, because it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up and I watched the show days ago. So I'm like trying to remember everything, but like, yeah, overall, like, and I think my biggest letdown with regards to the series in general is like, I feel like they kind of touted this series as like a Love, Death, and Robots that's on Netflix. If you haven't seen Love, Death, and Robots, I definitely recommend you check that out. I really enjoy Love, Death, and Robots. I hope they get another season. I did review, I think, the first 2 seasons. I didn't review season 3 for whatever reason, but I did review the first 2 seasons of Love, Death, and Robots. And I wish this show was more like that, in the sense of like, even with the different scenarios that they told throughout the multiverse, every single episode looked virtually the same. But with Love, Death, and Robots, every episode had a different look, had a different animation style to it, had a different vibe, had a different tone. But for the most part, and I get it's still the MCU, so it still has to have the MCU tone, but I still wish every episode had a different aesthetic look to it, to show that it is the multiverse, more or less. To have a different animation style. And then also, I wish they used this show as a way to give us more from the characters that are going to build and prop up the MCU further on down the line. Because we've gotten a whole bunch of Iron Man, Captain America, yeah, but like, I want to see Monica Rambeau. I want to see more of Shang-Chi, the Eternals, the Emergence, etc. Like, that's kind of what I was hoping this final season was going to be, being that it is the final season. And I feel like and then also, I don't even know why it's the final season. The concept like What If can always, like, they can go, and I feel like they should have gone balls to the walls with regards to this show. Like, I don't know. What if the world never locked away Isaiah Bradley and he was the Captain America of the world? He was revealed as Captain America. What if? What if Wakanda and Tolo Khan teamed up? What if Quicksilver never died during Age of Ultron? We still don't know what the hell is happening with Blade. So what if vampires took over the world, or even Kit Harington's character with Ebony Knight, getting something with him? What if, I don't know what his deal is. What if they teamed up? I don't know, something. Or another concept, like if you want to do an Agatha Harkness-centric episode. What if Agatha's son never died? What if Agatha and Death got together and stayed together? What if Billy and Tommy never disappeared at the end of WandaVision? Where was Scarlet Witch during this season? But yeah, overall, like, I didn't hate What If like some people. Like, I thought the episodes were decent, or rather okay at best. But like I said, as I was watching the episodes, I was just like, the whole time, I was just like, I don't really care about any of this. So that's really my feelings overall about season 3 of What If. I was whelmed, more or less. But with that said, that's my opinion. What do you guys think about season 3 of What If? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Did you not care? Did you not even watch it? Because I know some people just stopped watching the show after the first or second season. But what are your thoughts overall? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, interact for the all gay rhythm. Hopefully you made it to the end of this video. And if you did, do me a favor again, please, please, please hit that like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm. This is one of your first time checking out one of my videos. Hopefully check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, hit that follow button, that subscribe button. Tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And yeah, be on the lookout for more videos now that the holidays are over. So I still got to watch Squid Game. I'm going to review Creature Commandos and some other stuff. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.